Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're plunging into Helsinki, Finland's capital. It's this fascinating blend, isn't it? Nature meets high-tech, meets really cool design.
Yeah, it's got that peaceful vibe, lots of green space, islands.
Yeah.
Quite unique.
Definitely. So we've got a couple of sources we're looking at today. A YouTube video from World Travel Guide and an article just called Helsinki.
Right.
And our goal, really, is to just explore what makes Helsinki, what gives it that special character.
Okay, sounds good. And it seems like both sources really hit on this idea of Helsinki being, shaped by its history and its closeness to nature.
Absolutely. That interplay between, the natural world and what people have built there.
Exactly. Human creativity against that backdrop.
So let's get into the history. It wasn't always this major capital, was it? It started pretty small.
No, not at all. Founded back in 1550 by the Swedish King Gustav I, but just as a trading post, really.
And it took a while to get going.
Yeah, both sources mention that, a slow start. The big change came in 1812.
When Finland became a Grand Duchy under Russia.
Precisely. And Helsinki took over from Turku as the capital.
Which wasn't just symbolic, right? It was a strategic thing for Russia.
Totally. A way to strengthen their control, exert more influence. And that really kicked off Helsinki's growth.
You can still see that influence today, can't you? Especially in the buildings.
Oh, definitely. That neoclassical architecture that was popular then, very grand, symmetrical.
Senate Square is the big example they point to.
Yes, absolutely. Both sources highlight it. You've got those 4 key buildings there, all designed by Carl Ludwig Engel.
Right, the National Library.
The Government Palace, the university's main building.
And Helsinki Cathedral, the really famous one.
Exactly. It's a very unified, impressive space.
And that statue in the middle, Alexander II.
That's the one, put up in 1894. And then there's Alexander Street, Alexander and Katu.
Named after Alexander I, even earlier.
Yeah, 1833. And it's still a really important street today. The video shows it buzzing, especially weekends when it's mostly pedestrian.
Oh, nice. So still a hub for shopping, tourism, events.
Very central, easy to get to, still very much alive.
Okay, let's hop on an imaginary ferry. We're going to Suomenlinna.
The sea fortress. Just a short ride, but 20 minutes.
Spread across a few islands. Sounds amazing.
It really is. And steeped in history. Built by the Swedes originally, mid-18th century. Sveaborg, they called it.
Swedish castle.
Yeah.
And the point was defense.
Yeah, basically to keep the Russians out of the Baltic, or make it harder for them.
But that didn't quite work out in the long run.
Well, no. Russia captured it in 1808. And then they, strengthened it, added more fortifications.
Right, and then Finland got its independence.
1918. And it became Suomenlinna Finnish Castle.
And now it's not really military anymore.
No, not since the 1950s, really. It's been transformed. Museums, parks, artist studios, cultural stuff.
And it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, too.
It is, which says a lot. It's a great example of, preserving history, but giving it a new life.
Yeah.
Just get to check the ferry times if you go.
Yeah, good tip. Okay, back on the mainland. Let's talk about churches. Uspensky Cathedral first.
Right, the Orthodox one. You can't really miss it, down by the harbor.
That red brick, all those towers, the gold domes, 13 of them.
Yep, 13 golden cupolas, very distinctive. Russian design, 19th century. Alexei Gornostayev was the architect.
And the inside sounds pretty spectacular, too.
Oh, yeah. Altars, icons, gold leaf, marble, very ornate, very much in that Russian Orthodox style.
Okay, and then there's the complete opposite, almost. Templiakio Church.
The rock church. Yeah, that one's incredible.
Built into the rock.
Literally carved out of the bedrock. In the late 60s, Timo and Tuomo Suomalainen designed it.
And it has that glass dome on top.
Lets the natural light flood in. It's this shallow copper and glass dome held up by concrete ribs.
Must feel amazing inside. And the sound.
It's supposed to be fantastic. The rough rock walls actually absorb sound, stop echoes. So it's used for concerts a lot.
Makes sense. What a contrast to Uspensky.
Totally different aesthetics, yeah.
Yeah.
Both really striking, though.
Okay, shifting gears a bit. Architectural modernity. Helsinki seems to have some real standouts.
It does. The Central Railway Station is a big one.
Art Nouveau, right.
Yeah.
Eliel Saarinen.
That's the one. Really iconic design. And that clock tower. The video mentions it actually inspired the Chicago Tribune Tower.
No way. That's cool.
Yeah, quite a connection. And the station itself, local granite, those big statues holding globes outside.
The ones that light up.
Yeah. And inside, apparently lots of detailed carvings, big arch spaces.
Yeah.
Very impressive entry point to the city.
Then there's Finlandia Hall, Alvar Aalto.
From 71. famous for that white Carrara marble inside and out.
Sounds very sleek. Good acoustics, too.
Renowned for them. And it's got this grand staircase inside, a Venetian staircase, they call it. It's a major landmark of modern Finnish design.
And the National Opera House is nearby, too.
Yeah, just north of Finlandia Hall, across a park area, opened later in '93. Adds to that cultural cluster.
And Kiasma, the Contemporary Art Museum.
Oh yeah, Kiasma. Very striking building. Designed by an American, Stephen Hall.
That curved shape looks really dynamic.
It is, and apparently that curve continues inside, shaping the exhibition spaces. Focuses on Finnish art from the 60s onwards.
But it's not just paintings, right?
No, it's got performance spaces too. Experimental music, dance, theater, plus the usual museum cafe and shop. It's a real hub for contemporary arts.
Moving away from pure architecture, sports seem pretty big too. The Olympic Stadium.
Right, built for the Olympics that were supposed to happen before World War II.
But ended up hosting in '52 instead.
Exactly. It's got that tall tower, 72 meters, great views apparently.
And a sports museum inside.
A Finnish sports museum. And the statue of Paavo Nurmi, the runner, is outside.
Yeah.
It's a real symbol of Finnish sporting history.
And there are other facilities around it.
Yeah, swimming stadium nearby, an ice stadium, and a big park area too. Clearly a focus on providing recreational spaces.
Nice. What about wildlife? The zoo sounds interesting. Korkeasaari.
Yeah, it's actually one of the oldest zoos around. It goes back to the 1880s.
And they do important conservation work.
They do. Known for breeding endangered species like Siberian tigers, snow leopards, stuff like that.
And they try to make the habitats natural.
Very much so. They mentioned having nearly 1,000 plant species to try and replicate the animals' home environments, about 150 animal species in total.
And you can visit all year.
Yep. The tropical houses are probably pretty popular in winter. You can get a ferry there in summer, which sounds nice, or a bus the rest of the year.
Okay, let's talk markets. The main market square. Kapatori.
Right down by the water at the end of Esplanade Park.
Yeah.
Sounds like a real hive of activity.
Food, flowers, souvenirs.
And boats pulling up, selling fresh fish right there. Proper market feel.
The video mentions something about seagulls.
Huh, yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently you need to watch your food. They're pretty bold. Adds to the experience, I guess.
Part of the charm. And there's an indoor market, too.
Yeah, the old market hall, Fannekauppahali, right next door. Been there since 1889.
More food.
Yep, seafood, pastries, cheeses. Sounds a bit more maybe refined. Historic building, indoors. Good alternative if the seagulls are too much.
Helsinki gets called a design capital a lot, doesn't it?
It really does. They even have a whole design district. Shops, galleries, studios.
Showcasing Finnish design, fashion,
Home
furniture.
Architecture, the works. And they were officially World Design Capital back in 2012.
So it's a big part of the city's identity?
Absolutely. You can see stuff by the big names, like Aalto or Eero Saarinen, but also discover new designers. It's woven into the city.
Something else woven in seems to be sustainability.
Yeah, that comes through strongly. Lots of green space is integrated into the city.
And they push cycling and public transport?
Definitely encourage it. Even the amusement park, Linnanmäki, apparently focuses on being eco-friendly.
That feels very Nordic somehow.
It does. A real focus on livability and environmental responsibility. It's not just for show. It seems quite embedded.
Okay, nearly hungry now. The food scene.
Huh. What sounds great. Lots of fresh, seasonal stuff. Fish,
Yeah.
obviously, but also game, berries, mushrooms.
Things from the forest and the sea.
Exactly. And traditional dishes too, like lohikeito, that's the salmon soup.
Sounds good. And Karelian pasties. Karjalan piraka.
Yeah, those are classic. And then there's the whole cafe culture.
Ah, yes. Coffee and pastries.
Very much a thing. Locally roasted coffee and korvapusti, the cinnamon buns. You have to try those apparently.
Noted. Sounds like a good way to soak up the atmosphere.
For sure. It's part of the social fabric, it seems.
And beyond food and design, there's a lot of culture generally. Theaters, music.
Loads. Festivals, venues. The Helsinki Philharmonic plays at the National Opera. And there's a vibrant contemporary art scene too.
So it doesn't sound like you'd get bored easily.
Doesn't seem like it. Lots going on.
Okay, so wrapping this up. Helsinki. It really feels like this place where the past and the future are constantly interacting, you know?
Yeah, history and modernity aren't separate things. They kind of feed off each other.
Yeah.
And that specific location, by the sea, surrounded by nature, it all contributes.
We've touched on so much. The neoclassical squares, that incredible sea fortress.
The unique churches, the design influence, the commitment to being green.
The markets, the food, the arts. It's a really rich picture.
It definitely paints a picture of a city that knows where it came from, but is very much looking forward. Respects its roots, but keeps innovating.
So maybe a final thought for everyone listening. Helsinki went from this, relatively minor trading post to this global hub for design and modern living. It makes you wonder, what other places out there, places that maybe seem a bit ordinary right now, might have that same kind of hidden potential, that potential for a huge transformation, maybe even global influence down the line?
That's a great question. Something to ponder. Where's the next Helsinki hiding?
Exactly. Something to think about until our next deep dive.